It's interesting, our introit this morning was surely the presence of the Lord's in this place. A familiar hymn to many of us. But as I'm going to ask Jody Wallin to come up. We had the opportunity, myself and Jody Wallin and Peggy Wallin, to attend the West Plains Annual Conference. Let me get this right. The West Plains Annual Conference, and we as West District representatives went and represented our church at annual conference. And Jody and I are going to share a few minutes with you about that. Is Joni Vincent here? Joni was one of our delegates. You heard me say that last week, but as it would be, Joni had a grandchild come into this world unexpectedly, and so Joni was unable to go, and so Peggy took her place, and so the three of us were delegates, and Jody and I are going to share what we saw and what we heard. So Jody, please share with us.
Thank you, Steve. Yeah, we were able to go last year. Peggy and I went before we were able to even disaffiliate. We wanted to see what it was all about, and it was a wonderful time. So this year we got to go back as the first lay delegates of our church as part of the Global Methodist Church in the West Plains, and it was just wonderful. It was very similar to last year. I've been to probably over 25 annual conferences over my lifetime, maybe closer to 35. Or 40 in our previous denomination, and I can tell you that the Global Methodist Church annual conferences are totally different. It's 95% worship and praise and listening to the Word of God, and about 20 minutes of business. And all of the business, there was like 3 or 4 items of business. They explained it. He said, is there anyone that needs to speak each time? No one ever got up and argued about a thing. Everything passed unanimously. It was just the most wonderful time of worship. The mission of the Global Methodist Church is to make disciples of Jesus Christ who worship passionately, love extravagantly, and witness boldly. And yesterday and the day before, they concentrated on that middle one. What does it look like to love extravagantly? So everything that was said, everything that was done, the music was all about worshiping with your whole heart and your whole soul, knowing that Jesus Christ is the answer. There is no other answer. We don't have an answer to help people. We offer them Jesus Christ. And so that whole thing was concentrated on that. President Pro Tem Mike Schaefer oversaw everything. We were able to visit with him and Les Hall, our presiding elder, and other people. I was able to meet with Sid Strebeck a little bit. Sid used to be the lay speaker, the lay leader for the United Methodist Church in the New Mexico Annual Conference. He came over to the Global Conference and is now one of the global representatives of the West Plains. He will be going to the Global General Conference as a representative, and he was just a delight to visit with. The first day we just had a welcome by the bishop, and then a speaker spoke. We had dinner. We had an orientation service, and then not an orientation service, an ordination service. And in that, over 40 people were received into the Methodist Church, men and women as deacons and elders, and probably over 20 that new pastors that had transferred in from the United Methodist Church as elders into the Global Methodist Church. So we ended up with 40 more preachers day before yesterday as new pastors within the Global Methodist Church, and that was a great joy, not only for them but for us as well. Then Saturday we had check-in, we had a welcome, we had a wonderful speaker from Asbury Seminary. One of the things I just wanted to highlight, and I take a little point of pride here, they had what was called the TED speakers, and this had to do with this extravagant, loving extravagantly. And some people came up and talked about some of the missions that their church had done over the years to love on people and help people. And one speaker was Julie Maupin. She's the daughter of a good friend of mine from Groover. She grew up in Groover. Her daughter is number 20 on the Texas Tech Lady Raiders basketball team. Bailey Maupin, she's a fabulous basketball player. And Julie helped organize and raise over $100,000 and has already built more than 2 new homes, gave food, diapers, all kinds of things to the homeless. Over 100 people in the Fritch, Texas area, that's around Lake Meredith, up around Borger. Uh, that she was a school teacher there for years, and so she knew a lot of people. She helped raise over $100,000 to help those people in the Fritch area. Over 100,000 acres were burnt there, and of course, it was the largest fire in Texas history. Over 1 million acres were burned up in that grass fire. So just stories like that were heartwarming and meaningful. We met old friends and had wonderful worship that was led by the Abilene worship team, the Abilene Wiley Methodist Church. And some of you remember Jack Lambert, perhaps. Jack started with me years ago on Walk to Emmaus. We've probably worked over 10 Walk to Emmaus together. He was my bass player when we started the contemporary service. He was on that worship team, so we got to reconnect. It was just a wonderful time.